Peace and blessings. This is the Herbal Wellness Coach for OASA'S products. And today we're going to talk about seeing the doctor. Now, a lot of us in the natural holistic field of medicine, herbs, if you will, trying to find natural healing, we're really hesitant to go see a doctor. Well, let me give you a little information. You need to see a doctor. This isn't a message to bash the medical industry. I'm here to give you strength and understanding that you should go see a doctor. If you need a diagnosis, go get a diagnosis. Have them explain it to you. What's wrong with that? What can they do? But just say this is the issue. Now, let me get straightforward to it because I don't want to be long. It's like this. What I've learned in my journey and my many failures that cause great loss, from being sued, having medical mishaps or whatnot, is because I was unaware that I had power. See, a lot of the time we sit there and go through these individuals thinking they're going to help us in their profession to put us on the right path to give us our desired result. But the truth of the matter is, it's just like when you take your car to an auto detail shop or auto shop if something's wrong. 9 times out of 10, you're probably going to get scammed because you don't know anything about cars and you're dependent on what they tell you. And then they're going to give you a high estimate saying you need this, you need that, you need this, that, and the third. And then you're going to be worried saying, well, I only know I needed some brakes. Now they're telling me I need this, maybe an axle or a tire change or whatever, right? But, you think that if you don't heed to the quote-unquote experts' advice, you're going to drive your car to the ground. Now, many of us who's driven hoopties understand they can say what the fudge they want to say. But I want you to change these brakes. You know what I'm saying? So that same mindset when you talk to a doctor or a lawyer for that matter is needed. You're going to need to educate yourself on what you want. Oh, but I don't know what I'm going through. It could be something more, but that's the problem. You can get a diagnosis. You can get the test. But learn it. But let's do it this way. You go to a doctor for a checkup. And all you want is a checkup. Let me know, what my levels are. Am I healthy? Am I not? According to your standards, right? And then they'll come and say, oh, you may have this, or your blood pressure is a little high, or whatever. And then they'll suggest, well, let me write you a prescription. You can be nice and say yes and take it and throw it in the trash. You don't have to take the prescription. You see the numbers. You know if there's an issue. It's there. And then, the problem is when we go get a checkup and they just start blabbering about what they believe we should do, you don't got to be nasty, but you can just say thank you, knowing all you came for is a checkup. You didn't come for all this extra. They giving you the extra. Think about it. You ask for a specific thing and they're offering more, and then whatever they offer you a different mindset. For example, you have an infection. You need antibiotics. You go to the doctor and they want to run tests. And you allow them to run tests. But you know you needed antibiotics. There's no symptom sign or anything else, but you trust the physician in running tests. Now, for all that I understand, when I go see, and I just have recently went, if you follow my story, went to get some antibiotics. I wasn't angry or combative to anyone. I just know I needed some antibiotics. So I went to a walk-in clinic I didn't go to no hospital. I went to a walk-in clinic to see a doctor. Notice I said go see a doctor. I didn't say go to the hospital. Now, if you have to go to a hospital for an emergency, that's one thing. But I went to see a doctor. What do you need? Fill out the form to ask you specifically, what do you need? You need to know what you need. I'm not asking you to be a doctor. I'm not suggesting you to be that, but you need to understand what you need. It's your responsibility to know what you need from that physician. And if you don't know, they're going to tell you what you need. And there you're going to find yourself in trouble with different things. You need to see a doctor, yes, but on your terms. See, I went in there and said I needed antibiotics. You know, and quite naturally, what I was going through was visible. And it was like, okay, you need anything else? How is this? How they're gonna always ask the hows. And I thought about something I could say, but I realized I just came for the antibiotics. I didn't come for this extra. And I didn't have an attitude. I just like, no, I just came for the antibiotics. Okay, I'm gonna write your prescription and give you some for pain. You in pain? A little bit. Really, I wasn't, but. Anyway, so the point I'm making was I went in and out. That visit was quick. I didn't allow or open the door for something more because I knew what I wanted. And I was clear about what I wanted. I wasn't uncertain. My blood pressure, I didn't have anything that would cause anyone to be concerned. But when they ask, you got to understand they're prying to get into the door. They may not be an evil person, but that's the practice that they do. We thinking it's a helping hand, but if you're really into natural healing on certain things, you understand there are some things that are not beneficial for you, and it's up to you to recognize that, and it's for you to allow it or not allow it. Remember, it's not about being in your strong position and angry and aggressive and you disrespectful. You just be the nicest you can and understand your limits. Oh, what if I'm skeptical of getting my child some injections? Well, you need to go understand the law of your land on how you can get exempt. The state that where I'm at says you can get exemption, but it has to be from a county health officer. The health nurse put it that way for the county. Now I can refuse it all I want, but if I don't get that paperwork, I'm out of the line. You see? So how do I get to do that? Well, when they come asking, you just ask some simple questions. You can say, hey, doc, because they going to come with their needles ready, they going to come. And you just say, doc, I've been reading a lot of things and I don't know what to believe. Um, can you help explain to me what's going into my child? What's the ingredients of that thing, that serum you're about to give? Now, my experience is the doctor was like, Google it. That wasn't the answer I was looking for, but, that answer didn't suffice. Had I had it in hindsight, I would have just said, well, can I see the box with the ingredients then so I can read it? That's a reasonable request because you're supposed to get informed consent to take any medical procedure. And that is your due care as a person caring for another person, a child or an adult. You really we're health conscious in what we eat, so we should really be health conscious in what we put in our body in any medical procedure to say yay or nay. Now, you go through that, you have that conversation, and if you read or the physician tell you some ingredients that you should already know, you're just going through the motions because we have done our research before we came. So you say, hey, what is this ingredient? And the medical name for formaldehyde. You just choose one of those, and then they'll say, don't worry about it. It's safe. And then you say, what's the, should any human be having this in their system? That's a straightforward question, and that person can lie or be honest. And it's a direct question. and hold them to task to the question without being disrespectful. They can dance and say, it's safe, it's safe, it's safe. And say, with all due respect, Dr. So and so, my question really was, should humans have that in their system, let alone a baby? You see? Now you need a direct answer. And most doctors, if they were being honest, would say, no, they shouldn't. But if by some chance they just don't want to answer the question, you can stop the conversation there and say, well, I need to get more information, because, I did ask a question, but you really didn't answer it, and tell them you didn't answer, is it safe? So I need to research if having that in your system is safe. So I know that whatever I may agree to go in my child, at least I know what to expect. Like, is there any side effects, Doc? Can you help me out on last time? Because you want to engage them to talk. You don't want to be arguing. And at the end of the conversation, that's one aspect. But let's say he says, no, is it safe? He said, should a human take it? And he says, yeah, it's a small dose. And then you ask, is there any side effects in taking it? Right? And then they're going to say no. And then, that's when you should have some information, but you act like you're Googling and say, I just Googled and it says that this, that, and the third. I'm confused. You're telling me it's fine, but they're telling me this is poison. I need to, research this more. See how you get out? Now, the last part of it is they're going to tell you to sign a document. And you got to understand anything that you sign is a binding agreement. So you need to read it like a contract and act like you really care about everything, every little detail. If there's something you don't agree in that contract, cross it out. I do not agree. Cross it out. I do not agree. And initial. I do not agree. Initial and date. I do not agree. I do not agree. Cross it out and say it. And at the end, it might say something like, well, signing this document means you agree to everything a 4 minute before whatever. And then cross that line out and say, signing this means I agree to the things I did not cross out. Those that I did not agree to are foreknoted and do not adhere to it as I sign. And will not adhere to that and agree to it as I sign. And then ask for a copy. And they're going to tell you, oh, you can't do that. And then, say, well, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to sign it any other way. I need a copy. There's some agreements in those things that give your rights to a jurisdiction or a group unbeknowing by refusing. So you need to be wise enough to read and take the time to read. Don't be upset and emotional. You're just handling your business to protect when you go see the doctor. See, stand within your power. The doctor don't mean they're your priest. They don't mean they're the judge and jury. Matter of fact, they actually tell you they practice medicine. So how can someone that's still practicing tell you exactly what? I mean, as far as I can see, they still practicing how to cure colds, cure flus, cure the C word, blood sugar imbalances, hypertension. They still practicing for that. They just have a magic pill that masks a symptom or make you sleepy, or block a natural mineral that's supposed to come in and give you balance. But at the end of the day, there's some good in it. They do some good work in some situations. And you got to recognize what they are and make sure, hey, getting a diagnosis so you can understand what organ needs to be repaired. And that's fine. It's okay to know that, but be wise how they get the test. Like they tell men all day, every day about testicular cancer, But my issue is, how you gonna have preventive care checkups and you're not telling them how to eat and maintain their maintenance so they will never have a thing. But that's a different subject. But I'm telling you, you need to see a doctor. I was the same way. I'm still fighting that urge, about some things. But I'll admit, I come to terms that I need them, and you should too. This is the Herbalist Wellness Coach for OASA'S products. Thank you for tuning in. Like and subscribe. One love.